rhythm, getting your vibration on my soul. It sends me to the peak. Without no regret, you got no love. Without no love, you got no regret. Without no regret, you got no love. A melody where I belong in this life.
Yes, people, welcome back to Let's Talk Premier League. We're here for the United show. We had the Chelsea show earlier, which descended into some sort of chaos. FYI, don't mention Thomas Souček around West Ham fans; they get annoyed. But we've got some United issues that they need to deal with first. But I am joined, as always, by Cian, RJ, and Kenny. How are we all doing, guys?
I'm great, thank you.
I'm grand. I'm kind of thankful. I'm kind of laughing at the fact that Liverpool couldn't even beat 10-man Arsenal last night, which is just glorious. I mean, you gotta love to see when that happens. So,
indeed. What about you, Kenny? You've already had your cucumber, I believe.
Well. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Paul says thumbnails file quality. Thank you. Big up now. How you doing? Big up the panel too. RJ, Kenny and Cian back again. Great stuff. Big up panel and Kenny. Kenny is just pure vibes. I love Kenny. He's brilliant. But we've got a lot to talk about. You're probably wondering what we're going to talk about, but it's United, so I didn't have to look very hard. You just type in fire or God knows what, and it just comes up with just United news, really. We're going to talk about the FA Cup and Villa. Obviously, you got Middlesbrough next, so we get to watch United struggle against Championship opposition this time. Henderson walked out of training. Got some interesting quotes there. We're going to talk about Ronaldo. Now, me and Cian had a great chat earlier about Ronaldo. It'll be interesting to get everyone's views because I've got a specific view on it, and it's actually, I'm not even that disrespectful, but I have got a view on Ronaldo as a leader, so we're going to get everyone else's opinions. We're also obviously going to wrap up a few things that have happened this week, like Zakaria's links to United, Marcus Rashford, and what the hell needs to happen with that man. But I think we can all agree that picture for Monday night was awful to see. No matter what your opinion on Rashford is, seeing that picture, he looked lost. And yeah, we're going to talk about that a bit more, and then we're going to talk about Aston Villa again because you got him again tomorrow. So we get to talk about Villa a lot today. But we'll start with the FA Cup third round match. It was the return of Steven Gerrard. Before we get into nitty gritty, Cian, how good was it to see Steven Gerrard getting frustrated in the away dugout again at Old Trafford?
Oh, it's amazing. It's a great sight to see, and it always is. Hate Steven Gerrard, hate everything about him, and hate everything about Liverpool. So it's a great sight to see.
Yeah, I hear that. RJ, what about you? Steven Gerrard, he slipped out of the FA Cup. He's used to slipping, but I didn't think he would do it so petulantly. He even said that United weren't even that loud, which I find hard to believe.
I mean, coming from a guy who has an accent that no one understands, I think it's pretty ironic the fact that he's saying stuff like that. But I mean, yeah, no, it was funny how he kind of slipped up once again. It's just something iconic when it comes to Mr. Gerrard. But yeah, look, we move on and we'll beat them in the league again. Simple.
Slippy G's at it again. So I'm just watching Brighton versus Palace as well. That has been a controversial game to say the least.
I've had it on.
A bit of it, yeah.
It's been brutal.
Another controversial thing.
I also want to say something controversial. I would take Graham Potter over Maurizio Pochettino as Manchester United manager.
Oh, that's not.
I'd take Niall over fucking.
Firstly, don't be so disrespectful. I've got one of the best FM careers you'll ever see. I've also got quite a good FIFA career as well. And it's not controversial wanting Potter over Maurizio Pochettino. Graham Potter is... I am officially a Potter sexual. I have been for ages.
I get called that on my channel.
Mate, I am the biggest Potter sexual you'll ever get in this world. Literally, I would happily chuck Southgate to Ireland just so Potter can come to England.
Okay, we're not a
Absolutely.
dumping ground, okay? Shut your mouth.
Well,
Give
you
him
see,
to Northern Ireland.
okay,
Southgate
Wow.
is not
Northern
that bad.
Ireland.
Wow.
Give
We'll
him
just-
to Northern Ireland, all right?
okay,
Northern
we'll
Ireland's
just
a
give them
shit
to
ground.
Wales. They seem to take all of our rejects anyway.
There you go. Jesus.
But yeah,
Disrespectful.
Potter is incredible. But yeah, some comments here. Henderson has realised his ability is incomparable to De Gea. David is class. Dino is class without the CL. Brutal. Dylan fight me as an honest Henderson fan since 1755. He's finished. You know, I've had my opinions on Rashford. I think he's been poor for ages, not just injury problems. However, I think it's an exaggeration to say sell him. And that's coming from me. Rashford has shown his greatness. And he needs to do it again. I will be critical as ever, though I demand performances now. Win Cian and 600 subs. Thank you. Whether you like it or not, Rashford, unless he changes his finish at United, he's been playing like this for a while. Big up to Bionic as well.
You
and
have the worst memories of all time. Like, what the fuck?
Absolutely, Pep Sancho. Like, what are you on about?
Like to say congrats now on 600 subs. Also remember now 600 subs equals Mustafa mod.
No, it doesn't.
I said 1,000 and Mustafa can get more.
No, as a person who is part of this channel has huge owner stakes in this channel. I reject this is horrible.
No, I did say
Rashford,
I did say at 1,000 Mustafa could be mod. So still 400 away.
Could be mod. It could be.
Could be.
and
Well,
I might reject that.
Mustafa's brilliant. I love Mustafa as well. But we'll get into the nitty gritty of the FA Cup, shall we? Now, to say that this was a hard match to watch if you're a United fan. Look, I know that McTominay scored within 10 minutes or however long, but the presiding 80, 75 minutes was extremely difficult to watch if you're a man who likes to control your midfield and see good football. If you like either, you definitely would not have liked United's performance. But Cian, start us off with McTominay. We'll start on the positive, shall we? McTominay, it was McFred. McFred's do you know what? When the kitchen's getting hot, those boys just they work it out between themselves. Lovely bit of combination from McFred there. Also started off by Greenwood by playing a simple pass back to Fred. The Greenwood of 2 years ago would have tried, beating about 6 bodies and tried cutting in on his left and shooting. So at least he's matured in a way that he's not trying to do that anymore. But McFred, obviously, or the McTominay-Fred link up. What did you make of that?
Well, obviously, the McTominay and Fred partnership is a hard thing to watch, and it's not only a hard thing to watch; it's hard knowing going into a game and seeing that they're in the lineup again as a partnership. Now, I'm always one. I'm sure you see me. I'm very vocal on social media, whether I'm on my way to Old Trafford or I'm watching the match at home. I always say, do not moan about the lineup because it gets unbearable when people moan about the lineup. Now, with the game itself. And I'm going to say something quite controversial. I don't think it was that bad. I honestly don't. I think it was an improvement on Wolves and an improvement against Newcastle. We ain't anywhere where we need to be. We give the ball away around 200 times a game. But I don't think it was as bad as we have been in recent weeks.
Do you not think that you got ran through like, how's the nicest way?
In periods of the game, yes.
Like
you mean for most of the second half?
In periods of the game.
All of the second half.
Well, no, he changed formation Bordoni on, and that shut up. I was, and this is my issue with Ragnick, right? I have an issue. I was calling for this on like the 55th minute. I was like, this ain't working, guys. You need to change something. You really need an extra body in that midfield because McTominay and Fred, whatever your opinion on them, they're getting outnumbered because there's 3 of Villa, sometimes 4, and only 2 of McFred. Like there's literally just them 2. So even if they were freaking Toni Kroos and Iniesta, they're not doing the job that you need because they're being outnumbered. So I was like, get an extra body in there. Take a striker off. Do whatever you need to do. Just get someone in there because these boys, they're struggling. But it took him so long, and that could have been costly. That could have been costly because you'd conceded a goal by that point. But obviously, luckily for you guys, Ramsey was offside when he body checked Cavani. But I suppose that's one criticism you can lay on Ralph, that he just didn't make that change anywhere near quick enough, did he?
Mm-hmm.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I was just, I don't know what you were thinking in the stadium, but even on my watch along, I was like, Ralph, this ain't working, mate, and you're meant to be the godfather of football, and I'm suggesting what you need to do. Like, come on, man, you need to do this quicker. This is English football, mate. They're gonna score if you carry on, but it is one of them. Sancho will always be my goat. Okey-dokey. If I'll stop flirting with my sister, brilliant. Big up Dylan and Mustafa. Well, time to get back to work. Bye. Catch you in a bit. Hello, future brother-in-law. Brilliant. Kenny, let's not talk about repping her now, lad. You literally repped at Jogba. Cian, turns out you made Fabrizio famous ever since you let him on his channel. He's gained 7 million followers, and it's all thanks to you. Love to see it. Love to see it. Also, Mustafa, I love you. Brilliant. This is not a bit strange at all. But RJ, I'll go to you next before we get Kenny's in-depth analysis of United's performance against Aston Villa in the FA Cup third round. But what did you make of the game?
It showed a lot, right? It did show a lot. Definitely that we needed a CDM in the January transfer window. I cannot say that more clearly anymore.
Someone here has been suggesting you need that ever since.
Okay. No one likes to show off, right? No one likes to show off, okay? Yeah. Second of all, I do think that McFred could work in this team, right? For a certain reason. Because those two are motivated. They're motivated in the squad. Every time they're in this team, they always give 110%. They might not be the best, and honestly, God forbid, they're not. However, I'd rather have them than a 50% Paul Pogba who doesn't give a rat's ass about this club, or a Martial who's barely walking on the pitch, right? That's what I prefer, right? I prefer lads who are putting in the work. And like I said, it was a good goal. It was a great cross from Fred. Great header by McTominay. If I'm correct about that, I forget about the game.
It was a good header from McTominay. It was almost like the perfect link up, like genuinely, and it could only come from McFred, really.
Yeah. Oh no, and exactly. Like it's kind of like a vintage when McTominay was young, he was a striker, and there was a clip of him. It was a cross into him. He just headed the ball straight in, and that's one great thing about him. And it's it would have been sick to have him as a striker because, to be fair, he's 6'4", aggressive, and he can actually bang.
Have you considered with the way he goes that maybe you could try Greenwood and McTominay out front, just see what happens? You never know. You could genuinely have found the best strike partnership in the league, which is unheard of. You've got McTominay who's like 6'4" with Mason Greenwood's left foot. It could be quite the unstoppable partnership. Like genuinely,
regardless of that, but I think the question definitely was solved on how would this team do without Ronaldo, and it's like, look, Cian might have said, look, we did all right. I thought, like I said, we're still a deer in the headlights. We still don't have that leader because like I said, Bruno did a good job captaining the squad. I think he had a good performance. But the thing about Ronaldo is he still brings that mentality to this club. Right, I don't want to see Maguire. I don't want to see.
We'll talk about Ronaldo in a minute because that is literally.
I think McTominay is a leader. I think McTominay is what you would call the people's captain, and I'm not talking about the people in some of the online fan base. I'm talking about the people in generally. He's quite liked across the fan base generally. And he's very vocal on the pitch, and he loves the club. So I think he could be the people's captain.
Yeah, no, I totally hear you. But we'll talk about leaders and that because that is literally the bread and butter of this show tonight. Because there's been a few interesting quotes, and we're going to dive into it and give our views on that. I was talking to Cian about balance earlier about the midfield. We had a good chat about it, and I suggested that it was obviously it's well documented that you need a freaking DM before you do anything, right? Whether that be Garn or freaking whoever, just go get yourself a DM. It can be anyone. I then suggested that a midfield partnership could be if you go 4-3-3, you could have the DM with Bruno and Donny van der Beek, because I said it's about balance, and Bruno's risk-taking passes would be balanced out by Donny's progressive, calm, safe, not safe, but he's very good at keeping the ball. So Kenny, what was wrong with your midfield on Monday against Villa? Because I struggle to believe that it's just McFred. That is not the issue. It's part of an issue, of course, but it's not the whole issue. There is other issues within that squad. Do you think it was a lack of something as simple as a lack of bodies in that midfield? Because you were just getting outdone in midfield, and it's not because McTominay and Fred are that shit. It's, there's got to be more to it.
Let's be honest. Bruno on against Villa did not go track back. He asked to help the midfield.
Well, no, he was striker. He was playing up top. Yeah, he was playing up top with Cavani.
Mm-hmm.
You had Rashford and Greenwood, or as whatever the hell Ragnick has got them playing as.
Kenny just realised this now.
Well, no, I just don't know what Greenwood and Rashford are in this system. They're like 10 / midfield wingers / God knows. So it's a bit of a lost cause on me. But Kenny, were you even at the game, or did you fall asleep?
No, I was at the game. I was quite tired when I went to the game.
I was just about to say, do you know what? We'll move on from Kenny and Villa, because I don't think he even watched it.
And thank you.
I don't even think he watched the game, to be fair. He was at the stadium all sort of. But some comments here. McTominay over Diop. Wow, it just goes without saying, surely. Dylan's angry. Would you?
The what?
Moving swiftly on.
We've got some weird people now.
Dylan, please don't be angry. Here is a hug. Okie dokie. De Gea, Lamptey, Varane, Maguire, Shaw, Garner, Fred, Bruno, Martial, Greenwood, and Hugo. It's
Hugo not right now.
It's Greenwood and Hugo nowhere near.
I think Charlie McNeil is better than Hugo at this point.
Yeah,
I think the problem with Hugo, he just needs to muscle up. That's all he has to do. But he's got the talent. It's just Charlie McNeil is actually like what's his name? Oh, what's that, Chris? What's that Brighton player called? Maupay. He's Maupay, but like younger, and like because he's got the shithousery in him. Like you can.
If I was United, I'd sign Maupay just because I love his shithousery. Like genuinely,
no, he's having a good season. I was talking about him before.
He
actually sucks though.
No, Bionek. Yeah, Hugo is lanky as fuck. If you want height, just play for fucking McTominay up top. If you want a bit of height, he knows where the back of the net is, and he can score screamers as well. So, do you know what? I've never seen a shit goal for McTominay. Like, I'll be honest, I've never seen McTominay score a shit goal. They're either absolute weldies from the edge of the area, or he's scoring them with his head. Like this, there has got to be a serious conversation soon about whether McTominay should be moved up from. There should be a serious conversation. It would have to be as a part of a two, because I don't think you'd want McTominay leading your line on his own. But as part of a two, I think it could be quite an interesting. And also, you are going to confuse almost every team that you come against. McTominay. Oh, it looks like they're playing with
McTominay up top. I like it. Sign me up.
No, not Fred. Fred's on the bench, but they'll probably look at a team sheet going, are they playing with 5 midfielders or what? And then just suddenly McTominay goes up top.
McTominay and Greenwood.
Yeah, you see United line up, and then McTominay and Greenwood are just stood up front, and Pep goes, oh shit, I didn't predict that. Oh shit, first ball goes in. Yeah, he scored from his head. Okie dokie, this could be dangerous. Quick, we need to change this now. Someone mark McTominay up front, but genuinely serious questions need to be asked about that. But Dylan says, replace Martial with Maupay. Maupay is better than Martial.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Anyone's better than Martial at this rate.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. But look, we've had the fun and games. Now we must talk about the serious stuff. Let's talk Dean Henderson, because this is going to cause Ralph a lot of problems if he don't deal with this very bloody quickly. And the only way to deal with this is get him out on loan and deal with it in the summer. But let's go through it. So according to Webby and O'Neill, Man United fan channel. Interim boss Ralph Ragnick had promised Dean Henderson that he would be starting in the FA Cup third round clash on Monday. So I presumed, as always, you'd have Henderson as your cup keeper, De Gea as your number one for the Champions League and the Premier League, just like City and Chelsea and everyone else does. But the 24-year-old was told he would not be in the sticks and did not take it well, it is claimed. He was not even on the bench, obviously, Tom Heaton was, and Ralph said he was ill. Although he did similar with Maguire, although he didn't actually say what was wrong with Henderson, and he came up with something that contradicted what happened with Maguire the day before when he was eating pizza and shagging ladies, allegedly. But Dean Henderson, on the other hand, apparently this is what happened. So on Monday, was told Dean Henderson stormed out of the training ground after being told he wasn't playing on Sunday. Tony O'Neill said on his channel. We never said anything. I wanted to make sure from another source got that. He was told he's not playing, but he was preparing all week. I can understand Henderson being annoyed. He's second string and not getting a chance. Him storming out, preparing to play, and then being told you're not playing is understandable. He's a young lad and wants to play. The excuse from Ragnick himself for him not being even on the bench was that he was ill, but there was no description of what illness. Check my source. I'm happy with it. If this is true, this is quite a problem for our, like, genuinely, if you've promised that Dean Henderson's going to be your number two and he ain't even getting FA Cup games now, Cian, how big an issue could this potentially be, depending on who is Henderson's friends in that dressing room? Because all of them right now are going to be like, whoa, that's bang out of order from Ralph. And then you know what happens next? Ralph Ragnick has lost the dressing room for the 900th time in 3 weeks. But what do you make of the whole situation? Because it's got the potential to be very messy very quickly.
I don't think it's a coincidence that Dean Henderson. It's well documented that Dean Henderson has got an attitude issue within 2 to 3 managers. In my opinion, he's a modern day Joe Hart. He's not actually that good, and
Joe Hart
to me,
Joe Hart was really good.
Okay, he's not. He's an average keeper.
He was not. He was.
I don't think he was.
He's Jack Butland, right? But he plays in the Prem. Simple as that.
No. And he thinks he's it. And I went for a walk before. This is a true story. I went for a walk with my uncle before, and I was discussing the same situation with him, and I got quite frustrated with it. 'Cause it's like you think you're it. Like, we've got these big names in the dressing room. We've got Rafael Varane. We've got Cristiano Ronaldo. We've got Edinson Cavani, who've been places and won things. And then you've got Dean Henderson, who's done nothing except have one good season for Sheffield United. He's on £140,000 per week, and he thinks he's it. He needs to go. We should have sold him when Chelsea bidded 50 million for him last summer. I don't know why we didn't do that. He's got to go either this window or next summer. He has to go. He absolutely has to go.
Would you get him out on loan now? Just get him.
Yeah. Because it's well documented that I don't know if you see the team sheet gets leaked 75 minutes before each game by someone, and it's very well documented that Dean Henderson is the person that tells that person who the team sheet is.
I mean, just when you thought that this shit couldn't get any worse.
I know.
That'll be why there was no early team sheet this week, because I was looking all over the place for an early team sheet for United. I couldn't find it, so that actually explains a lot. Look, is what Dean Henderson does right? No. Can I understand his frustrations? You bet I can.
Yeah.
Because, and again, I don't want to blame Ollie for everything, but this man really needs to take a long bit of pie on this one, because, to be honest, whatever the fuck was promised with Dean Henderson, Ollie has sort of caused this, because if he had said to Dean Henderson, you're my number one this season, and then suddenly he's on the bench, I can understand why he's frustrated. Is leaking the news or the team sheet every game acceptable? No, of course not. But, I can understand the frustration. Henderson is a sweeper, keeper, merchant. Look at me, I run out of goal every 2 minutes. I'm cool. Wasn't that guy from Cardiff, I think it was Patterson, who started right back? Neil Warnock made him play striker. That is the sort of thing that Neil Warnock would do. Yes, the Scotsman. Ralph does what he wants. Cian speaking facts once again, paying the good money. Sign Cian to a 5-year deal. I don't know if we can afford a 5-year deal, but we'll definitely try to sign him to a deal. If Cian can't do a husband, then no Dylan. Handstand. I thought it said
I absolutely can't.
I definitely will never attempt a handstand. Jesus Christ. I would literally cause an earthquake within the UK. And we're not prone to earthquakes.
I've heard Boris did that already, but anyway.
No. Well, let's just say Boris just had a party. Or multiple parties. But RJ, this Dean Henderson situation, it's going to get quite messy, isn't it?
I don't think it's going to be messy. I think Ralph just has a job on his hands. I think just get rid of him. Get rid of the problem. He's like I said,
I don't want to be rude, but Ralph seems quite reluctant to let him go, which I don't understand.
I don't care. Get rid of him. Okay, so what has he done to deserve a place at Man United? Right? Listen, I understand where he's coming from. Yes, I would be.
Gallagher's just scored. Gallagher's just scored for Palace,
and he's on my bench.
What a player!
Anyway, my point is that right. There has been a severe attitude problem with the United players, and I do think English players really have been showing their true identities at this football club. Players like Maguire, players like Henderson, players who kind of turn their back on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Now, people are saying, look, I agree, Niall, that you like Henderson because for whatever reason.
No. I've never said I like him. I said he suits a specific tactic that if Ralph wanted to implement that tactic, Dean Henderson could be of use to Ragnick if he was to do that. I've also said that, looking at De Gea's form at this season, you just cannot drop David De Gea. So,
and I think that's why he needs to understand that he's not the number one guy around here. He needs to understand I don't know if it's an ego check that he needs or just a little bit of humble pie. He just needs it.
Or maybe he just needs not. Maybe he just needs not to be promised by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that he'll be number one goalkeeper this year.
No. Okay, look, when that happened, right, he should have stood up for Ole. He should have backed Ole before he got sacked. Newsflash, he didn't. Right? No one backed for Ole, and I'm sorry to say this, but those lads were a disgrace on that day. They were. Maguire, did he say anything? No.
No. I get all of.
Sorry, Ole, for turning my back on you. Like maybe.
No, I get all of that, but I think all of this really started with Ole and Henderson.
No,
if he's promised Henderson number one goalkeeper and then has benched him and picked De Gea for whatever reason, whether it's because De Gea has been world class for whatever reason, that's going to cause friction between the two.
Listen, the reason why he was number one for a certain bit was because David De Gea was gone for a month because his child was born.
RJ, I'm
just
just saying that he was genuinely apparently told over the summer that he would be number one goalkeeper for United. That's like me saying, RJ, I will make you. That's like me saying, I'll make you like this amazing job offer. You can do whatever, run the website or whatever for good money, and then I decide actually I'm going to get Luke to do it, or Dom to do it, or Kenny to do it.
No, what I'm saying is, right, you have to understand back then that was when De Gea was not being best, right? We can all agree last season is a season that De Gea will definitely try and forget, obviously, right? And I do think that yes, Henderson took his chance. He did well against teams like Man City, against other teams as well. Tottenham, exactly. Like I say, he did take a chance, and look, fair play to the lad. He did his best. But you have to understand, right? There is no friends in this game, right? It's all about Man United first, players second. If you're not the number one, shut up. Simple as that. That's just how it is. De Gea is not number one because the fact is he's proven that he is stepping up for this club.
Yeah, no, I get that. But if you promise something and it's not done, it's obviously going to annoy you.
Not all promises work out. We were promised, a proper CDM for the last 4 seasons, and have we got one? No.
Well, so, no, like I said, it's slightly different with players, and
not really.
No, I've been not managed. Well, I've run a football team. I've even managed one at grassroots. So it's very difficult. But if you promise a player something, you've got to either stick to that promise or have good reason not to. But if you don't stick to a promise, you're going to have a bit of a problem if you can't smooth it over with words. But let's go to some comments before we get Kenny's thoughts on this. Also, Dylan, I heard Cian's agent is Mino Raiola, same as Pogba's. Work meeting. No, it was a work meeting. I get rid of him then. Boris allegedly. Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
Boris allegedly did some work last year. allegedly. As the sporting director of Pets Pork Premier League, we have rejected him.
Sad news, that.
Yeah, I think it's. I don't think Mino Raiola is anywhere near us. I haven't spoke to him. He was in surgery a couple of weeks ago. RJ, don't say anything. Not really. No, Henderson gets 140k a week. He doesn't have to work in a sweet shop on £2 a day. Grab Henderson. It's different. It is different. But Kenny, what's your view on this whole Henderson situation?
Listen, I am one of the few United fans actually doesn't rate Henderson. I think he did do quite well in the period last season where he started for us. I thought he did quite well. We got our best one of clean sheets there, but I can really see where he's coming from with the terms of even the training ground, because if he's been promised to start, if you've been promised to start a game, that's like saying, Niall, I promise you to sign for Plymouth Argyle, and then I go and sign RJ instead. Like, you wouldn't be happy. And I can understand from that point of view. But I think if what Cian said about him leaking the team news is true, I think that's completely unacceptable. I think he's got no excuse for that. And I think if he is doing that, because I've not seen anything of it, but
it is well documented.
It's very well documented that it's Dean Henderson, and there's a specific content creator that gets the leaked team news.
And the other thing about it, and look, I'm not throwing Dean Henderson under a bus. If you want to give me the leaked information, I would happily take it. You know,
yeah, show your true self now. Show your true self.
I couldn't care. I couldn't give a damn. Well, I'm not a United fan, so it has zero impact on us at all. If it's an Argyle player leaking the team sheet, I'm going to go to his house. I'm finding whichever wanker did it, and I'm dealing with them. But
sorry to interrupt, but so it's Dean Henderson who's been leaking the team sheet, right?
Yes, mate.
Yeah.
Because every time Dean Henderson's he's not in the squad, there's no leaked team sheet.
Yeah, okay, then fuck him. Tell him you can fuck right off.
The person he's leaking it to has literally said that it literally is Dean Henderson. It's very well documented.
He might not get that anymore if he's just throwing Dean Henderson.
No. All I will say, if he's throwing him on the bus, you might as well show DMs. If he shows DMs, that's his career over, like. Because no big club would ever.
I don't think that's his career over.
Clubs would take it because ultimately they'll try and smooth it over. And
they'll just fine him or something like that.
Football's a very egotistical place. It's the most egotistical workplace in the world. Every manager will be like, I can handle him. He'll be fine. He'll love me. He'll work hard. That's just football. It's like it's why people would still come to United. And so like, we'll bring this fallen giant back onto its perch and all of that. Like, it will restore United. If football's just really, really egotistical, it's just the way it is. But big up to Paul. Villa to win tomorrow. Shut up, Kenny. Henderson is a bum. Sorry, just joined. What happened with him? Why did he storm out? He stormed out because he wasn't picked for Villa after being promised he would be in goal. But look, we could sit here and talk about Dean Henderson all night long, and I'm sure RJ would absolutely love bodying him, but mainly he's English. But let's move over to your Portuguese.
Let's
move over to the Portuguese. RJ likes them.
Maybe because they're not as many bitches to this club, but anyway.
Hey, it's not. We don't take Harry Maguire, right? We don't. He's not. He is. He's Welsh. But let's talk Ronaldo. And I want to talk leaders, not specifically maybe just Ronaldo, but just leaders in general, because I do think that is something that United are lacking. But I also feel that it's probably something that you can't actually go and buy. Like, you could go buy a leader, of course, but leaders naturally just work their way to the top anyway, which is why Maguire's not found himself there. But I wanted to talk about Ronaldo. Okay, he's made a lot of quotes. Now, for me, a leader is someone that can galvanize everyone and get everyone on board, no matter how good or young or old they are. Right, whoever you're leading, if you can't get your whole team believing in it, you're not the leader. Right, this is you know, within any workplace, whether you're working in a fast food joint, a football pit, a football team, whatever, a manager or a leader needs to be able to get the whole team to believe in them and to follow them. That is, you know, my definition of a leader, getting everyone to believe. Now, Ronaldo has done some quotes and said some things I just think are just totally not needed. They were not needed. They're still not needed. And they wouldn't have been tolerated under Sir Alex Ferguson. You can bet your dollars money on that, right? Fergie would have absolutely bodied the fuck out of whoever does this interview. And, you know, he would have lobbed a toaster at their head, allegedly. Or kick a boot at them. Whichever way Fergie wanted to demonstrate his anger, he would have done that. Ask David Beckham. But let's start with quotes from Ronaldo, because he has said an awful lot, hasn't he? So he started off by saying, I say we have a long way to improve, because for me, the most important thing is the mentality. To look at yourself and say, I can do better. For you to be professional, help the team, the right mentality, self-taught and positive. All of these details depend on you, not the coaches, the fans, or the press. If you are proud of yourself, you have dignity, you have to do it much more. Ronaldo stays behind training after work to work on his fitness. He's baffled that more of his teammates do not do the same. He's also hinted that United's younger players are not listening to his words of wisdom. I don't know how egotistical he thinks he is, but okay. Shut up, RJ. If I give you advice, even if you are younger than me, if you don't implant that during your daily life, it will be difficult. He said, I will be the number one to help, but if you don't want my help, do your job, look for yourself, do your best to help the team. I can speak all day with that person, but if they're not coming from inside you, it's impossible. When I was 18, 19, 20, some older players spoke to me, but I put that as Cristiano, you have to improve. Ronaldo's also complained privately that he is one of United's only players who goes to a gym to do extra work before and after training at Carrington. He's also said, if I don't want to be here in a club to fight for, I don't want to be here in a club to fight for 6th or 7th or 5th. I'm here to try and win. He said, I'm back at Manchester because I love this club. It's not just because of money or whatever. I believe that we have the potential here to win important things, but some things have to change. I believe if we change our minds, we can achieve big things. Now, there's a lot in this statement or these quotes that Ronaldo did in this interview with Sky or Premier League Productions, right? Now, I'll just give my quick viewpoint on this. I don't think this was an acceptable interview at any level by anyone. Okay. Right? This was not needed by any of them. Right? Whether that be Harry Maguire, Scott McTominay, or fucking Ronaldo. This interview at the time and with the way that things are at United was totally unnecessary and is going to cause some more issues. You just know that it will. Now, the bits that I particularly want to think is he needs to galvanize. If he is a true leader of this squad, he needs to galvanize everyone. Now, I had a chat with Cian, and I said that my leader and my captain that I would implement at United as the captain moving on is David De Gea. And the reason I would say that, he's the player who's been at the club longest through all the managers of recent years. He's won a Premier League title. He's won a Europa League. He's won an FA Cup. He's won all sorts with United. He's performing at a level that is the most, you know, he's been your best player all season. He's not dropped below any poor standards this season. But I also, and this is the main one for me, I also don't believe that anyone has a problem with David De Gea barring Dean Henderson, and I think we all know why. So, no, Maguire likes De Gea. Well, I don't think there's an issue. And if Maguire does dislike De Gea, then Maguire can fuck off as well. But De Gea would be my captain, but I'll let you guys discuss this, and then I'll argue with RJ because I feel like we're just going to argue. Cian, we'll start with you, and then we'll go to Kenny and finish on RJ because that'll probably be the best way to do this. But Cian, what have you made of Ronaldo's, interview?
The quotes are top class. The interview, like the actual interview going out itself, is not acceptable, as you say, in my opinion. It should be, that sort of stuff should be being said behind closed doors, be behind the dressing room and behind the scenes. We shouldn't be seeing all this stuff, and it just goes back to me and you were discussing earlier. There was this Beckham of England situation when Beckham got a lot of abuse from England fans, and Sir Alex Ferguson got asked in a press conference about that, and Sir Alex Ferguson basically said, "This is Manchester United. We're not letting anything out, and we're not letting anything in," and that's how it should be now. We've talked about Dean Henderson with the leaks, and now we're talking about Ronaldo saying things in the media. It feels like everything's falling apart and like in front of our eyes, rather than things being dealt with behind closed doors. Things like this being done in the media is only going to rile the fans, rile the media, rile rival fans, and it's also going to give certain fans the sort of ammunition that they need when certain players don't perform well. It creates a toxic atmosphere for me. And I do agree with you about De Gea being captain. I was discussing with you before some of De Gea's quotes this season, and I can just name a few off the top of my head. He said, "We play like kids," which is basically true. He said, "We can't do anything. We need to improve on everything." He said he's hurt, and he spoke the truth. He's done none of the stuff you've seen Maguire doing or Ronaldo doing currently. He spoke the truth, and he's led not only on the pitch, but in the media as well.
He's also not throwing anyone under a bus because, Ronaldo, whether it be indirectly or directly, has thrown a couple of people under a bus. It's well documented that Mason Greenwood and Cristiano Ronaldo don't see eye to eye. They don't really get on. So you can automatically assume that fans are going to go for Greenwood on this. Some are even questioning Rashford. He's throwing the younger players under a bus. Now, De Gea, completely different. We're all shit. We were all crap. We all didn't perform. There's a difference. De Gea is saying it's all of us. We all need to improve, including himself. He's not saying they need to improve. He's not saying the 10 guys in front of me that have performed stinkers need to improve. I'm the only one doing my job. He's saying all of them. So he's taking everyone with him. He's dragging them all. I thought Luke Shaw's interview after the Wolves game was pathetic. I thought he was a pathetic excuse as a human, let alone as a speech. I mean, you're giving that speech after you've lost. Like, come on. Who the hell put him in front of the camera? You've got to have some passion. You've got to do better. He was looking at the floor going, "Bruh." Like, he ain't a leader. And the Phil Jones bit was lovely. Yeah, Phil Jones did a great job. Also, Phil Jones has shown more heart than most of you have all fucking season in one game. Like, he's another one who could probably do a captain's job better than half of them. So, it is a joke, and there is that. But De Gea, for me, he's got to be given the captaincy, and he was given the captaincy. Prime said De Gea used to be United captain, and he got stripped of him. Know what happened there? He did. He said I think he said United played shit. Well, not used the word shit, but he basically criticised the performance, and it pissed off Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So then it got stripped of him. So then, Lord Hell Maguire came in, and it's never been the same ever again. But Kenny. Before we go into that, and Paul says, what the fuck, how do you think De Gea can be captain? Who's going to listen to De Gea? I mean, half the team, well, actually all the team, if they've got half a brain cell. Also, Brighton have just scored, and I think it's Neil Maupay. Of course it's Neil Maupay.
No way.
What a sexy, beautiful human. I love Maupay.
I don't know why they've dropped Tariq Lamptey.
Huh?
Who?
They dropped Tariq Lamptey, didn't they?
Yeah, he came onto the pitch. So Cucurella got... Oh, what happened there? Cross goes in. Oh, fucking hell. So Cucurella's got to Maupay, has hit the left-hand side. Maupay's gone to cross it in. It's hit Anderson. Anderson's put it into his own net. That's an own goal for Anderson. It's just put it under Butland's legs. What a poor bastard. Sure, he's lost in every final he's played. I wouldn't go that far, but as a leader, he's certainly nowhere near the standard of leadership at United. I think that's that interview proved enough that he's definitely not the leader.
I absolutely wouldn't say Shaw is a loser, just purely based on the amount of injuries he's had and come back from.
Yeah, he's had to go through a lot. I'm not saying Shaw's a loser. I'm just saying he's not a leader, but not everyone's a leader. Not everyone's a leader. Some people are like Kenny, but Kenny, what what were your thoughts on
What was that now?
Kenny?
Well,
There is no way
I was
you,
gonna say that as well.
Kenny, you're not a leader, so I think it's a fair comment. But Kenny, what have you made of Ronaldo's quotes and sort of indirectly or directly? I don't know what Ronaldo's agenda is, and I'm going to say some controversial things about Ronaldo after Ardi has spoken. But what have you made of his comments?
I don't think that he's blaming the young players per se. I think that he is. I think he's trying to give them advice. I don't think he's.
What in the media?
Can you stop waffling me, please?
What, sure, RJ?
Say what's on your mind.
Say yes. Stop waffling. Come on.
Sure, RJ. I don't think Ronaldo should be captain because I think he's got too big an ego to be captain. Personally, probably has to be De Gea really because De Gea is probably the only person in that dressing room who's not a whinger, who plays respect. The majority of the team respects De Gea. I can't say that about some other players. Ergo, a current one. I think De Gea is really the best one in our team right now because there's no one else who has that respect in the dressing room, and he's not one of the whingers. That's why I wouldn't say Bruno the captain because he whinges way too much, Bruno, and Ronaldo just has too big of an ego. De Gea doesn't have too big of an ego at all, and he's shown he can come back because the last few seasons we'll all agree was crap, but he's really come back from all this season. He didn't really good. And I admit I was wrong on De Gea. So yeah, that's why I think De Gea is by far the best choice. For
That's actually I'm just going to stop you there before you carried on because that's actually one of the best things you've ever said, Kenny. Congratulations. You actually spoke quite a few facts there. But RJ, go on. What's your thoughts on this?
Okay, so do I agree that De Gea could be captain? 100%. Just to break that down. Do I think that Ronaldo's interview was wrong? No, and I will explain why. Because, right, so how I see Ronaldo, look, he is one of the oldest players in our squad, and he's the most experienced, right? How I see it is that he's setting the standard at this club, right? This standard, that is set by Harry Maguire has been atrocious of recent times, okay? We can all agree on that, right? What I think Ronaldo's trying to do is, we all know that these players are lazy as hell, and I think Ronaldo's interview has just proven that's a fact, right? The players won't work hard, and Ronaldo's saying, look, this is what's happening, and so it's pretty much so that we don't have to keep making rumors, so that we just know what's the problem.
Just let me pause you just quickly there.
Well,
even when Ronaldo was younger, he'd still do the same. Not all of them.
I understand.
There was no way Roy Keane was going into a gym to do extra training. Like the man did enough, but he was still one of your best midfielders.
No, what I'm saying is that, right?
Ronaldo's a completely different beast. Like not every player.
Nobody else is Ronaldo, are they?
Yeah. So
what I'm saying is when Ronaldo was younger, right? You looked at players like Ruud van Nistelrooy who got pissed off in the box because his job was the ball.
Ruud van Nistelrooy definitely didn't go into a gym to do extra training. I can assure you on that much. Dimitar Berbatov, one of your best strikers, one of your most underrated. That man definitely didn't go into a gym to do extra training. He barely ran on the pitch, let alone do extra work at training.
What I'm saying is, right, that the mentality has to change. And I think when Ronaldo's captain, right, and the thing is about a captain, he sets the standards and he sets the rules, right? I do think David De Gea is a great leader, and I do think he's one of our best keepers. I just genuinely think that Ronaldo, if we want to move forward and set the bar high, Ronaldo's the one to do it. I genuinely think that.
I'm going to disagree because sometimes, and you get this with some of the best players, it's why not all good players end up being good managers. Paul Scholes, prime example. Because some of these players who are so good, not everyone is Ronaldo, right? Not everyone's Ronaldo, right? Heck, not even everyone's a Dimitar Berbatov. He was an absolute, what a player. What a player. Some of the things Dimitar Berbatov did with a ball was unbelievable. Now, he would have looked at Ronaldo going into a gym to do extra training and thought, you mad cunt. Screw that, I'm going home. I mean, as we all know, I think we can all agree, Dimitar Berbatov barely even wanted to run on the pitch, let alone do extra work. But he was smart when he was running because he was like, I don't need to run when the ball's that far. Oh, the ball's just come round. I'll run. But he was smart about it. So I feel sometimes the standards have to be set at an attainable level for everyone. Now they need to be high, of course, for United. Of course they need to be high, but they cannot be super, super high that they're unattainable for everyone. Right? They have to be attainable for everyone. Now, what Cristiano Ronaldo can do maybe isn't met by what a Mason Greenwood could do, or Rashford, or a McTominay. They have to be set at a level that everyone can get. Now, these are just basic standards of work hard during training, work hard during a match. Now, of course, there are some people that aren't doing that. Do I think doing this publicly is going to help? It's not going to help, RJ. These are the conversations that need to be had. If Ronaldo's annoyed, he has every right to be annoyed, right? He does. But he needs to have these conversations behind closed doors. These are conversations you have in training.
But I believe that there are happening behind doors and nothing's happening, so he has to get it out. That's why I believe.
That's when he has to talk to Ralph Ragnick. It's not up to Ronaldo to go and have a public interview and basically throw half the team under the bus. He needs to go up to Ralph.
What I think he's doing is throwing the people who are not capable of being at the club under the bus.
Because he's setting his standards. You said he's setting his standards. His standards are not going to be attained by...
Only Messi has lived up to Ronaldo's standards, and that's arguable.
And Ronaldo's standards are Ronaldo's standards. They're not getting met by anyone, but
they could. They could. I'm not.
Very unlikely, though, isn't it?
What you're saying, what Ronaldo wants, right, is more work from these players. He's not saying to do the exact same as Ronaldo. He wants to upgrade the level of work.
He is. The bits that are coming out, he does want everyone doing what he's doing. He's stated that by just saying Ronaldo's complained privately that he's one of the only United players to go into a gym after training to do extra work. Right? He wants everyone doing his standards, and that's not the way to be. It's not the way to be.
That's basic, I swear.
No, it isn't.
It's absolutely not basic. If it was basic, everybody would be on the level of Ronaldo.
It's actually unheard of. Not many players go in to do extra work unless you're really, 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 really dedicated like a Ronaldo.
Okay, then that's what I mean. That literally just shows the flaws out of these players.
RJ, that means you only ever want Ronaldo at your club because that's not attained by everyone.
But it could be attained. It could be attained.
Yeah, but
it could.
It's unrealistic, though.
For some, I agree. For some, I agree. But there's definitely some players there who are passionate about the club. Eventually, they will. They'll put in the same amount of work that Ronaldo is.
Well, no, because he ain't gonna be there forever. I'm almost.
Well, no, but he'll leave that mentality behind.
I don't think he will. I think Ronaldo's here for 2 years. I cannot imagine United extending more than 2 years. Because to be honest,
depends how we do. I think.
If we had the choice, I'm going to say something now. If we had the choice to send him to somewhere which isn't one of our rivals in the summer, I would do it.
Yeah,
I would. No chance.
No, I'm going to say I was talking to Cian, and in fact, if you guys actually listen to RJ, I am listening. I listen to it all. What he's saying, you'd understand. Ronaldo's talking about putting in effort and training. Talking United back to being a huge club. It's unheard of. You put the effort in training. Like that is when you do it. It's not about going in doing extra work.
But Niall, listen, right? The only way you get better is to improve. These players do not improve. When was the last time Maguire actually improved?
Actually, right? I'm going to completely disagree with you. So, as someone who's watched Greenwood through the heights, right, it's the best one to use because
I'm talking about Greenwood. I'm talking about this squad in general.
I am talking about Greenwood because to say that no one's improving is wrong because I've studied Greenwood throughout the ranks. Right, I've seen him, and now I'm watching him, and I've seen him through the Ollie reign into the Ragnick reign. Greenwood is tracking back a lot more nowadays, for sure, 100%.
Okay,
can't be denied. He is doing that. He's
but don't
doing.
You think he's still flawed? He's still flawed.
Of course he is, RJ.
His passing is still so bad. And why won't he say
that has to be a training issue though? It can't be every single one of our players is terrible at passing.
But Greenwood has to understand what he is good at, right? Yes, he's great at shooting and he's great at finishing. Yeah, 100%. But the thing, he's not good at passing.
Well, actually,
nobody is in our team. No, we
do have some good passers. Lindelof is a good passer. Varane is a good passer.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that. Greenwood can pass.
Okay,
He's put,
okay. I'm
no,
not against that Villa game. I
no,
highly disagree with
no,
that Villa
I'm
game.
not. What? So everything's just on that Villa game because
No,
I
I'm talking about in
watched.
general.
I
He has
watched.
not improved. What?
He
How
has
is it
because
not?
I watched
He's
you.
definitely
I
improved.
watched.
No,
I watched
Niall.
you against Wolves. 1 minute. I watched you against Wolves, and his switch of play to Sancho, when all Sancho has to do is feed it to his left-hand side, and Ronaldo's in acres of space.
Okay, so
That
that's
all
one.
started from. That's one long, very, very good pass. So Greenwood can pass, but also, do you not think Greenwood's being played out of position by about a country mile? Because I think it's quite clear to see that
No,
Mason Greenwood is a
Niall.
striker.
I never said that he couldn't pass. I said that he's flawed right now. His decision making at the final third, when like you're supposed to finish it,
He's also
that's why he needs
20.
to improve. I don't
He's
care.
al-
I don't care if he's 20. Jude Bellingham's 18, and he's literally smashing it in the
And Jude
Bundesliga.
Bellingham's decision making ain't perfect all the time. As someone who's watched the Bundesliga, that happens.
Listen, yeah, but the thing is, right? I want Greenwood to succeed. I want him to do well. As a player, right? Yes, he's great at all these stuff, right? But if in order to improve, you must improve your mistakes, and especially as a human being. Like I said, we all make mistakes, but if you correct them, you'll become a better player.
But you didn't answer the question. Do you think Greenwood's being played out of position?
I think no, because I think he's pretty versatile when it comes to it. Because look, he was
no. I'm on about his best position. So you put everyone in their best position. Do you think Mason Greenwood's best position is on the right side or through the middle as a striker?
For a senior, for the senior team, he's been better on the right. On the right, he's been better. He's been proved. He's proved us that he's been well on the right.
What is Mason Greenwood's? Statistically, what is Mason Greenwood's position through the whole of his career, including the youth academy?
But that's potato. McTominay was a bloody striker when he was a youth.
So
are we going to say that he's a striker? Oh my god!
Actually, you could argue that McTominay is a better striker than central midfielder. What I'm saying is Greenwood's been played out of position on the right hand side, but you can see vast improvements in his game.
So he's been out of position for 2.5 years.
Yes, you are exactly correct. The reason he was put on the right-hand side is because you didn't have a right winger, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needed a right winger. That's why he was put on the right-hand side to start.
Let's pick someone else. Let's pick someone else, because like I said, we're never going to agree with Greenwood. Pick another player that definitely is not flawed in the squad. Bruno's flawed. Bruno has some bad mistakes.
We're going off subject because what you're mentioning is things that could need to be done in training. These are things that need working on in training.
Listen, right? The lads train for however long they train, right? It's up to them to improve themselves, right? This is when the chance where Ragnick says, all right, lads, do what you can so you can improve. It's like I said, all footballers should be doing this, right? If you want to improve, you stay back, you keep working your ass off, and then you get better. You will see improvement.
Dimitar Berbatov, Ruud van Nistelrooy.
You're talking about two different times. Two different times back then when a game was not as quick as it is right now. The game right now is tougher, quicker, and it involves a lot more intelligence from these players, right? So to kind of
Bobby Firmino.
I will say this now, and I'm saying this, right?
Bobby Firmino.
If it wasn't for Roberto Firmino, Salah would not be getting as much goals as he wants. Simple as that.
Exactly. And Bobby Firmino is not a workaholic. He'll work, but he's not a workaholic.
No, but why do we care about players who doesn't play for us? Do you know what I mean? Why should we care?
Because what I'm getting at is not every player is Ronaldo. It's very rare that every player is Ronaldo.
Well, I don't give a shit about Roberto Firmino. I don't care about any other player except for United. I want them all to do well, and I want them to be perfect. I know that's not going to be obvious, and obviously everyone can't be perfect. But what I'm saying is,
that wasn't the conversation. The conversation was about leaders.
No,
I don't think you can compare Ronaldo's standards to any other standards because
but
he's the best. He's probably the best sports athlete ever.
I'm not comparing them. What I'm saying is, right, what Ronaldo's doing is constantly improving himself, which none of these players are doing, right? That's something I'm saying. I never said that they should be on the same level as Ronaldo. No one is able to be on the level. Messi can't even do it either because let's be real, when you watch him, he does not run. He does not run for the majority of the game, right? That's what I'm saying is the difference, right? When you are a player and you want to get better, you must put in the work. I know, there's training and you have to do training, but the voluntary work, what you need to do on yourself, is
Yeah,
how
but
you're going to get better. I'll give you an example.
I'm not talking about work or ethic. I'm talking about a leader. We're talking about leadership.
But this is what the lads need. They need a wake up call. They need a wake up. They've been snoring
They
since
do,
Ole
but that
Gunnar
also
Solskjaer was
needs
in
to be
charge.
coming from the manager, not Ronaldo. Ronaldo's not the manager, right? Ronaldo
I would
is
disagree that I think if you look at Roy Keane, for example, Roy Keane would have been the player's manager, if that makes sense. Like the manager out of all the players.
And the standards for Roy Keane were set by Sir Alex Ferguson. Fergie
No,
would set that
no,
standard.
no.
Roy Keane never did anything in the media
I'm
similar to what
sorry.
Ronaldo has just done, though.
No, but what you need to understand, lads, is right that back then is completely different to now, right? If you were playing shit, Roy Keane would pull you out saying you're fucking shite, work on it, or you're getting dropped. Simple as that. That's what Roy Keane would have done. Even Neville
Roy Keane definitely wouldn't have said you'll be dropped because he wasn't the man. There is no way he would have stepped on.
He set the standards, right? And that's what Ronaldo's
but he didn't pick the team sheet. He didn't pick. Roy Keane would. So
but the thing is,
the standards at a club are set by the manager, right? They are set by the manager no matter what. So your manager will come in and they will set that standard. So Alex Ferguson set the standard of Manchester United.
People in the comments are listening to me, man.
I would disagree that the standards at Manchester United specifically, we're talking about Manchester United, are set by the current manager.
I was on about at that time. So during the Fergie era, it was set by Fergie. During Sir Matt Busby's era, during Sir Matt Busby's era, it was set by Sir Matt Busby. The manager.
So you think Roy Keane had no power whatsoever when it came to it?
Right.
What
I'm saying is the standards are set by the manager. The manager picks his captain, right? So let's say Fergie would set the standard. Roy Keane would have been Fergie's manager. So Roy Keane would have set that standard, including adding what he needed or what he wanted to see from the players. And he would have set that standard. But he would have also had all of these conversations behind closed doors.
Right. I have a good example, right? Let's look at the Portugal national team, right? The manager, Fernando Santos, if I get his name correct, I always get it messed up with someone else, right? He is the manager, right? And he set Ronaldo's captain. Now, do you really think he's setting all the trainings, all the physical activities, and all the matches?
It's different at national level. It's different at national level.
They're there for 2 weeks. One of the best international teams in the world, right? And like I said, yes, I understand, but he has to take control, right? But he doesn't. He gives it to Ronaldo. Ronaldo works. Now, this is the thing with thing, right? Yes, Rangnick is completely better than Santos, 100%, right? We can all agree on that. But what I'm telling you is, I never said that, none of these players are shit. I literally said that they need to improve their mentality. Mm-hmm. That's why we've been playing shit. Their mentality's been in the bin because the fact is their supposed leader, was a guy who's literally has no self-awareness when it comes to improvement. Right?
Yeah, and no one's talking about Maguire being a leader. I can assure you.
No, but I'm talking about the fact that since Ronaldo came out and said this, and people are upset saying, "Oh, you can't say this. This is unfair."
No, it's no good for squad morale. There's this thing. There's a thing called squad.
No, Niall. It's called survival of the fittest. The players
it's really not because Liverpool have squad harmony. They have squad.
There's a real togetherness about the rival teams.
Because the thing is, Niall, they're actually doing well. They're performing week in, week out.
Okay, I can assure you, when John Henderson first took the captaincy of Liverpool, they were not doing well. They were not doing well at all.
Obviously, yeah, I understand that because John Henderson took a while.
Yeah, but John Henderson wasn't going into the media doing these sorts of interviews, right?
What age was Jordan Henderson when he got the? And was Jordan Henderson the best player in the world?
No, but that's regardless of the point. He's the captain of Liverpool. That gives you a standard. Jordan Henderson.
If Rangnick was actually upset about this, why has he not said anything to Ronaldo?
Maybe he has behind closed doors. Maybe
I think Rangnick agrees because if Rangnick said this, right, realistically, there's people in this community and the entire world that go for his head. Everyone knows that because the fact is, Gary Neville hates him because he's not one of his buddies. Ferdinand doesn't like him.
I don't think Gary Neville. I don't think that. I think Gary Neville backed his friend, but I don't think that Gary Neville hates Rangnick because he backed his friend. I backed Ollie till the very last game.
In fact, I remember. In fact, I remember Newcastle actually. It was I was watching the interviews with Gary Neville. I think it was Monday Night Football, wasn't it, or whatever it was. And Gary Neville was actually talking about this, and he was talking about the players. He pinned all of it on the players. He said it's not Rangnick's fault. He pinned it on the players. So I don't think Rangnick, hates Gary Neville hates Rangnick. I also am a firm believer that Rangnick ain't doing this dirty laundry in the public domain, because Rangnick is, he knows what he's doing. He's been through the job long enough. I bet you in the summer we'll soon find out who pissed off Rangnick, because they'll be out of the club. You can bet money on that.
I'll say this now, right?
He's going upstairs, but the situation that I think with the leader is it's got to be someone that can galvanize everyone. I don't honestly think Ronaldo can RJ, 1 minute. I don't think Ronaldo can galvanize everyone. I think he sets his standards way too high for some players. I think it needs to be someone.
What players?
I don't know. Whichever ones aren't meeting his standard. What I'm saying.
Okay, so everyone pretty much, except for De Gea.
Okay, that's fine. Everyone, which means that his standards are too high. You have to take baby steps, right? When Jurgen Klopp first came into Liverpool, they weren't this pressing machine. They weren't this team that could keep a clean sheet. It's baby steps. When Jurgen first came into Liverpool, it was rock and roll football, lads. We all saw it. It was, we will score more than you. That is our philosophy. You score 4, we'll score 5. That was the philosophy of Jurgen, because it's baby steps. You have to implement it. But Henderson wouldn't be talking out in the press going, oh, that Dejan Lovren, he ain't doing it. The standard, we have standards. It's a standard that everyone's got to meet, and if you don't meet it, it's a conversation that's got to be held behind closed doors. I firmly believe that. And I also think it's got to be someone that is connected with almost the whole dressing room. I think Ronaldo's just come in. I don't want to say an outsider, but I do think he's a bit of an outsider. I think De Gea is the guy that's been there the longest, that has the relationships with everyone. He's got a relationship with absolutely everyone in that dressing room. He could go up to absolutely any of them. Scott McTominay, Mason Greenwood, Juan Mata, Nemanja Matic, and go, I demand you to do more. I demand more from you. And he can say that in such a way because he'll know what to say to a certain player. He'll know how to get the best out of Scott McTominay. He'll know the best to get out of Marcus Rashford. Whereas I don't think Ronaldo has quite got that. But Ravi says, now please, could you ask my question to
Can I just finish off with this? That's my last message, right? Every player in that squad is replaceable. Every single player. You're saying that none of them are replaceable. Every single last one of them are replaceable.
Greenwood is not replaceable.
When did I say that they were all...
He is.
When did I say they were all...
If he doesn't want to be here, he knows where the back door is, right? Simple as that. I want players who are motivated, who are willing to put that extra mile in for this club. And I want players who will absolutely love to be here. Seriously.
Question 4. What will it take for United to win titles and challenge for other big clubs? Kim, we'll start with you, and then just quickly, I've got a few things to say on Ronaldo, and then we'll go on to Villa, because we'll go Rashford, because we won't even bother previewing, because that one took a bit longer than I thought. But it's all I enjoy debates.
Good conversation.
No, I do enjoy debate. It's something that I think has been needed. And big up to the comments. Obviously, it's a shame we couldn't read them all out, but as you can imagine, we've all got, especially when you put me and RJ and Cian. I feel for Kenny, who hasn't said another word. But Cian, what do you think it will take for United to win titles?
This is a very difficult question, and it's obviously the main one you're going to say is the owners, obviously. But if we're looking at the team and things like that, there has to be, and it's part of what you were saying, there has to be a togetherness within the team. Right now, and I used to say it a lot towards the end of last season, the team looked like 11 individuals on the pitch and not together. And I can give a few examples of when they were together, but there has to be a real togetherness and a real sort of motivation for them all to do well, and not for them to just, like RJ was saying, just improve, but for them all to do well. Now, obviously, we've got to get a midfielder, and in my opinion, a right back and possibly a centre back. But we're not going to get them all at once. So I think we're going to need another summer or two to improve.
Yeah, that's fair. Kenny, what about you?
A very difficult question, but we probably need. We definitely need a much better mentality. We need to kick some players out the club like Maguire, and we need a DM, a right back. I agree with Niall about how we need more than one midfielder as well, and yeah, we just need. We need a lot of players, but yeah, that's all I have to say about it, really.
Yeah. RJ?
Right. Well, like I said, don't take this too long, but I'll say it how it is, right? What will it take? It will take a huge mentality change from these pricks, because quite frankly, you're getting paid way too much for what you're performing. All right, simple as that. It will take a lot of signings, because quite frankly, this squad ain't good enough. And it will also take, honestly, if I'm saying this now, it will take, the right manager, obviously, next season, because Ragnick will step down. If we get Pochettino, we might as well give Harry Maguire a 600k contract, because let's be real, we'd be destroying our club bit by bit. I think the Glazers just need to put in the same work like they did last time. I think they did a good job with giving us Varane, Ronaldo, and Sancho. So if they can keep that up, where they give us good quality signings, they allow people like Ragnick to do their job, we can definitely shorten the amount of time that'll close. That'll be when we're back at the top with the likes of City and Liverpool and all them. I think it will be short if things do change, the right things, not where the lads take a photo of training saying, yeah, our team won, and thinking that like they're fucking great lads.
If I was a United fan, that stuff would piss me right off.
Oh no, I was just like, you better show this off in fucking in the match, or I swear God.
I tried to ignore it.
If it was last season, I'll use Argyle as an example, then being my club. If it was last season when we were getting battered pillar to post by teams that we shouldn't have been battered 6-0 to, and the boys were like, "Oh, I was doing the winning training session," I'd be like, "Let me find your house. I want to smack you in the mouth," because it just in my head. What I think United need, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty at all, right? Because I think you need a serious overhaul. So, I think it starts up. We'll start upstairs, right? I think you need Richard Arnold's coming in February, right? Richard Arnold needs to learn from Ed Woodward's mistakes. Ed Woodward tried running the football side of things and the financial and the commercial and everything, and fucked up on the main one, the football side. You're one of the best clubs commercially. You're also one of the best in terms of finances. You're one of the worst in terms of the top six, if not the worst on the pitch. So I think Arnold needs to come in, do the commercial. He's a really good CEO, whatever, for the commercial. Brilliant at it. It's his domain, right? He's fantastic at it. Really good at making money. He needs to have the right person next to him in a sporting director or whatever, director of football, however you want to phrase it, whatever. I think that needs to be Ralph Ragnick in the consultancy role, which I think we all know Ralph is going upstairs. I think he should take that role to train John Myrtle. I think he needs to train John Murta in terms of the decisions, how to run the club, how to structure whatever, to run the football side of things. He needs to do that. Have Darren Fletcher away from the dugout. He needs to be removed from that dugout almost instantly, because he is your technical director. He is the one. He goes into training. He speaks to the lads. He's mates with the lads. He feeds that back to John Myrtle, Ralph Ragnick. He does that and reflects it to the board. So that needs to be started. That needs to come in from day one. From day one of the summer, or even day one of Richard Arnold coming in, that needs to happen. Of course, right back, centre back, DM, whatever you need them. Yeah, cool. That's fine. You need to have the right players coming in for the right price, the right player. Declan Rice, no. Too risky. 80 million, no way. Go get yourself someone better. Look at a De Jong. Look at a Zakaria, a Kessie, a Bissouma. Try and get someone that isn't going to break the bank. A 40, 50 million pound player. Perfect. The pressure's not completely on them being a 80 million, 90 million pound player. That needs to happen. You also need the right manager. I think a Ten Hag, I think even a Pochettino would do a good job. I think these types of managers can come in, do a good job. Now, Pochettino might not be your favoured, but he can still do a good job. Maybe as an interim, not interim, but as someone to rebuild, because he built a fantastic Spurs squad. People forget that he built a really good Spurs squad. Yes, he didn't quite get them over the line, but in terms of the rebuild, he did a bloody good job. That's when you maybe find an Nagelsmann becomes a free, or whatever. But I think that needs to happen. I think the structure of United needs to completely be demolished. I think it needs to be ripped out from the fucking core. I think whatever Ed Woodward was doing, do the complete opposite to it. I think that will work a lot better for you. And you just need the right people in in the right places. I don't know about you. I pretty much I think that's the right way, isn't it? Basically, whatever Edward was doing, do the opposite and get football people in making footballing decisions, and don't be stupid and pay 90 million for Declan Rice. There you go, problem solved. And breathe. Also, just quickly, Ronaldo doesn't care about United, but that's just.
Could I just ask a quick question before we end this?
We're just going to quickly talk about Rashford and then end it, but yes, of course.
Okay, so this is for the two lads, Cian and Kenny, right? Would you agree, right? So obviously, I kind of tweeted out a certain message from a great United fan known as Stephen Housen. If I do say his name wrong, I apologize. He was on the Stretford Paddock, the United channel, and he said the following, right? I don't quote me on this, like I said. He said something along the lines.
That'll be £100 for advertisement.
So he said that Ragnar should get them all in the room, right? And say, if you don't want to be here, put your hand up, send them back to under 23s and bring in the under 23s. Would you do that, yes or no?
Yeah. They can't do any worse. They can't do any worse than we currently are. I would arguably recall James Garner as well. I would give Ahmad more game time. Ilanga even more game time than he's already getting. I'm not too clued up with all the under 23s.
I'd recall Brandon Williams. Why not?
Maybe.
But they can't do any worse than we have done this season. We've had it real bad this season.
RJ, I'm just saying, you wanted people that care about your club. Brandon Williams does care about your club. Every time he puts on that United shirt, he genuinely thought. There was never a time that I looked at Brandon Williams at United and thought he's taking it for a ride. He's taking the easy way out. Man cracked his skull open, fuck's sake, fucking defending United. So you want people who care. I would recall Brandon Williams, as Cian said, recall James Garner, get these players. Man cracked his skull open.
So I would argue that it's not fair on James Garner to recall him because he's enjoying that loan and he's doing very well. He's just beaten Arsenal in the FA Cup, so I would argue that it's not too fair on James Garner to recall him.
No, I'm just saying for like the under 23s that we have right now, to bring them in to essentially say, look, you're going to have your opportunity now because the fact is you care about this club more than half these other pricks like Martial, Henderson, Maguire. And that's what I would personally do. Kenny, what would you do?
Do the exact same. I mean, we could do better with them, to be honest with you, because we're doing so shit right now. As Cian said, surely they'll do better than what we're doing right now.
Yeah, and like I said, I appreciate Stephen Housen for saying that because it literally he was speaking facts. I literally agreed with
that. It talks a lot of sense, Stephen Housen.
That's 200. That's £200 now. Why don't we just buy? Why don't we buy Borussia Dortmund scouts and United scouts? Our scouting system is awful. You've actually, I don't want to. You've got one of the best scouting systems in the world.
It's the recruitment that's awful, not the actual scouts. It's the choosing who to buy.
Yeah, I would say if I was going to choose someone, if I was going to choose someone, Edwin van der Sar, and pick up Ten Hag as well, the Dutch duo coming to United.
The three people that can fix United: Edwin van der Sar, Erik Ten Hag, and Paul Mitchell.
Yes,
I'd also put Roy Keane as part of Ten Hag's coaching system.
Oh, 100%, why not? 100%. I'd call it a therapy session just with Roy Keane. Just like
I don't think it'd be a therapy session. I think it was Neville. I think it was Neville that said it couldn't be now because it would be like throwing a lion in the tiger's den. It would be bloodshed, and also he
It's
would
just
need
like
to.
it's just like they're all in a room, just like Roy Keane just walks out with a bat in hand, just like, well, lads, how you doing now, right? We're gonna have a little talk. We're having a little talk now.
I do think Roy Keane would probably have to apologise to David De Gea though, because he has said a lot of shit.
Okay, yeah. No,
It's
to be
gonna have
fair,
to.
he-
He'll probably be like, David, you just leave. Also, you perform like you did last week, and that fucking bat. And then the rest of them, it'll be like all hell's mercy. But
just runs after Maguire for like 20 minutes.
probably.
Come on, here you go, Lango, yeah.
These players need to give their all. Mancini for manager.
No chance.
That one wouldn't work for many reasons. Need to actually care about the club. That is true. Mancini is who we need. I disagree. I do disagree. I'm do the exact same. Kenny wasn't listening. I want United players that are good enough want to play for United and will follow the manager's instructions. That's true. I just want to quickly end it on Rashford because I do think and look, I don't want anyone bodying Rashford because I think he's been through enough. It's clearly taken its toll on him. I want this bit just to finish be as constructive as us four possibly can about what needs to happen with Rashford because I think that he is in a dangerous situation, maybe not mentally. I'm sure he's got some of the best people around him who can help him. And I don't know his mother personally, but she's a big part of his life and he has a great relationship. So I'm not worried in terms of that. But I think his career has a lot of there's a danger. There's a danger around the thing. Also, big up Joshy who says, me and my father finally got my Jeep working. I'm so happy. Although I'm really cold right now and my fingers hurt a lot. See, that's something Maguire definitely wouldn't say. But big up Joshy. But in terms of Rashford's career, it's at a worrying stage because it's danger of stalling big time. Now, I think we've all probably seen the picture of Rashford sat on that bench after he was taken off against Villa. I also believe his performances have not been Rashford. You know, I think it was first half. Greenwood was in acres of space against Villa. Rashford's not passing to him. It's like, oh, look up, Rashy, look up. Right, there's someone you can get an assist, mate. This will really help your confidence. Getting an assist. It's not a goal, but it's an assist. No, okay, Rashy. And then it was, I think, Greenwood in the second half. Greenwood didn't pass, obviously. Don't expect Greenwood to pass. He needs to teach him that. But Rashford doesn't. He's not on his toes. He's just flat-footed. He looks as if he had given up.
Well, Martinez is also in the ball, so.
Well, yeah, but you've got to anticipate. He's got to be on his toes, and I just feel just the performance, the way he was walking, the way he was acting. I don't think it's not because he doesn't love United. I think he's just in a really, really bad situation in terms of his career at the moment. But Cian, what would you do, Rashid? Because what I would say is get him as far away from the spotlight as possible. Get him on that bench. Yeah. Get him away from not even away from the first team. In fact, I probably would, actually. What I would probably do, send him away for a couple of weeks. Just go, look, go away, right? Don't come here. It's not because we don't love you, Rashi. Just go away, read a book, whatever, go to the sun, have a walk, go to a seaside, whatever. Clear your mind. Then come back and we'll go through what the hell is going on and we'll fix it. But he needs taken out of that first team for about at least a month or more, because he just needs that time. I think he needs a couple of weeks away from the squad. I think he needs away from the atmosphere. Get him mentally strong. Get him in a good place mentally. Get him back. See what you can do. But what would you do, Kim?
We've just hired a sports psychologist, and I'm hoping they can help Marcus Rashford with that. Now, he's had a very...
I forgot about that bit as well. Yeah. Get him in there as well.
He's had a very, very difficult 2 years. He's been... What started off the difficult 2 years was Marcus Rashford playing injured. And since then, he's had relationship issues, which I know that's his life outside of football, but that can affect anybody. Then he's had racial abuse. Well, he missed a penalty, which will have knocked his confidence. He's had racial abuse. And then he's just... What else can be tiring as well is him constantly trying to fight. He's fighting a winning battle, but it can also be tiring for him in helping the youth of this country. Now, I agree with you. He has to be away from the atmosphere. He needs what I would say a month on the sofa. Obviously, not quite literally, but just a month on the sofa. Do whatever you need to do to enjoy to get back to full sort of fitness mentally and physically. Because I'm still not sure he's fit physically either. I personally won't ever lose faith in Marcus until the day he retires. I just love him to bits. I personally just think he needs time away, and he needs to talk to someone. He looked like he was going to cry on that picture, and it was a horrible picture to see. I've tried not to talk about that specific picture too much to like people online and things like that.
No, yeah,
But-
football Twitter wouldn't understand.
Yeah,
a
exactly,
little bit.
exactly, yeah. And what I would say he needs to do is just talk to someone, talk about how you're feeling, because it looks like he's not happy in life rather than it just with his career. So we need to care for him and put. He's a player we need to put our arm around rather than, for example, with some of the other players, we need to give them a bollocking. We need to put our arm around Marcus and just say, look, we're here for you. You need a few weeks away. And that's not because we don't love you. That's because we do love you, and we want you to regain full confidence again.
In fact, I'd go one step away. I'd fly him to Dubai myself. Fuck getting
Why not?
Pogba. They've flown Pogba to Dubai many a times. Get him to Dubai. Get him halfway across the
Why
world.
not?
Get him a far away from his team. Take his phone away from him. The lot. Literally, no phone, Marcus. Go take someone to Dubai. Just relax. You're right. He's done an incredible amount of work, but he's also been through some of the most traumatic. Missing that penalty for England would have absolutely hurt him as much as it hurt the fans. Right? It hurt me, him missing it. So I can't imagine how he would felt. Do you think that with the atmosphere at United right now, which is, I think, at best a shit show, the atmosphere at United is sometimes the atmosphere of our group chat. It's absolutely brutal and savage. So I think get him as far away from this club as possible. Get him to Dubai. Get him on holiday. I know some people are like, but you don't let Pogba do that. Just let him go for a couple of weeks in Dubai or wherever. Maybe he likes to go to, I don't know, Plymouth. Maybe he just wants to go to the depths of Devon and not be found. Maybe he wants to walk on a hill or hike or whatever. Get him away. Get him mentally fixed. Because mentally he looks all over the place. He ain't fixing anything on the pitch unless he's fixed whatever.
I've obviously I'm not a footballer. I'm not a professional athlete.
Yeah.
I've got actual personal experiences with needing to be away from a certain atmosphere to specifically get mentally right. It happened just before lockdown 1, and it happened in November as well. So there's personal experiences with that, and you are absolutely right. Sometimes people just need time away from the toxic atmosphere of whatever is going on.
Yeah, no, I've had it myself. I think it was when I was working. I quit my job. Like genuinely, I just quit my job, and I fucked off down in Cornwall. Just fucked off to Cornwall for a couple of weeks. No one could find me. I messaged my dad saying I'll be back in 2 weeks. He was like, "You all right?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll be fine." Not answering my phone though. The best the phone will be doing is playing music. I just went down to Cornwall and was just walking. It was the best thing that happened to me. So I would advise him coming down Devon. Go get a chippy. Right, it's lovely down in Devon. Genuinely lovely. He would have a great time. Even if he wants to watch a bit of football, come watch our goal. Just do something that isn't United. Right, that's probably the best thing. You got a 2-week winter break coming up as well, so I really hope Rashford uses that in a productive manner, and then get back after that winter break, get on the training pitch with Ralph, and work on what needs working on. But RJ, what about you? What would you do with Rashford?
Yeah, it is very difficult because the thing you have to understand is that mentally, people can they can break down very easy when their mental state is shattered in a sense. I'll give you an example. Ilicic from Atlanta last season when his I can't exactly remember what it was. There was something to his partner, and he was so close of retiring from football because he just couldn't do it. And I think, and I'm thankful because he's a cracking baller. He's an absolute baller. Even though we played against him, he's still a cracking baller, and I'm thankful that he is still going right now. But yeah, like I said, there's been many scenarios where sports people essentially, they have to take a break from the sport because of fatigue of just you know just it's just not they're not happy where they are right now. There's many you can look through it all you want. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, no, I do think so. What the solution would be is I would say maybe take a little break from the sport. Obviously, football can be a very toxic atmosphere because, like, look, remember, Euro 2021, whatever it was, when he missed the penalty. I remember on Twitter, everyone was saying, "Watch out, because there's going to be racial slurs on there." We all knew, and that's what happened. We all knew because that's what happened in the past, and that's what happened again. So I think, yeah, look,
It was the one thing I didn't want to be right about. I knew the minute them three
oh
missed the
yeah,
penalties,
I
I
knew
was
too.
like,
I knew too.
was
I was
like,
happy that Italy won, but at the same time, I was saddened the fact that all three players who missed it weren't, did not have the same ethnicity as like players like Harry
no,
Maguire or anything like that.
yeah. Unfortunately for England, it was 3 black players that missed their penalties,
Yeah.
and
Oh, I know, yeah. Not
and I think anyone with half a brain cell knew exactly what was coming next, and it's a horrible thing. And it was one thing that I didn't want to be right about. And you add that with what he's done for politically, even though I don't think what he's done politically has really affected him. I think,
Oh no, God, what I think is
I
right.
think it can be tiring. It can be draining.
Yeah.
Obviously,
He's just took on
trying to
an
be
actual
a whole government,
stubborn
yeah.
Tory government. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
He's
you have
also,
to
people forget he's only 24, 25, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's still a young lad.
And what you need to understand is the fact that, he has this huge busy schedule that he's put himself under. And that can pull you down. I'll give you another example. A certain KSI, right? He had to stop performing for a good week and a half because he overworked himself. And that's what happens. I think Rashford just needs to focus, take all the stuff that is in his life right now, just put them away for now, take a break for a little bit, and come back as the Rashford that we know and love. Because I know he's still there. Like I said, we saw in that Leicester game when he scored that goal, he is still there. It's just the fact is there's this big overcoat that surrounds him and won't let him be that player that he wants to be for this club.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
I would say everyone has put that absolutely perfectly. Basically, Rashford, if you are watching somehow, go to Dubai or Plymouth, or as Jay said, Rashford, come visit me in Brighton. We can chill together at the beach. There you go. You got offers all over the country. Fuck it. Even I know he's mates with Brandon Williams. Go down to fucking Norfolk. Just go down to Brandon. Just chill with him, or do something. Go on holiday for a couple of weeks. Go clear that mind, and then the football club will still be there. Your manager will still be there, and I'm sure they can. Ralph he's not a fucking idiot. Like Ralph hasn't built this reputation for being somewhat of an idiot, right? So I'm sure once Rashford's fixed whatever's going on mentally, Ragnick will have him sorted in a couple of weeks. I think Ragnick just needs to try and work a way of getting out of this 4-2-2-2, because I think that's causing more problems than it's fucking making solutions, to be honest. Because you've got Rashford who's trying to play sort of left mid / left 10 / God knows where when he's actually a left winger, and you've got Greenwood trying to do the same, and then you've got McTominay and Fred who are like, okay, we just won, okay. And then you got Ronaldo and Cavani going, are we getting any service today? And everyone's looking, no, not really. It's just a complete mess. So change it to a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. And he sort of did that against the second half of the game, and it worked out better. So maybe it could be a change in Ralph. Does look at, but we've been going for an hour and a half. I certainly didn't expect it to be that long. We haven't spoken about Zakaria. If you get Zakaria, it's a good move. It's £6 million. Well done. And Villa United are going to win. Let's just say that. I should have realised when we were talking about Ronaldo leaders and Henderson and then Rashford, it was going to take a long time. So I should have thought about that. But
you should have thought when you had like RJ on the fucking stream, you knew when talking about Ronaldo especially, you knew that it was going to take a long time.
Yeah, I haven't even said half the things I wanted to say on Ronaldo. Maybe I'll do it on a private, not a private stream, on a separate stream. About that. Cian knows exactly what I want to say about Ronaldo, but I'll do that on another stream maybe. But we are going to wrap it up there. I'll be back tomorrow morning or tomorrow midday. 12:15 for a watch along of Manchester City versus Chelsea. It's a lunchtime kickoff. Should be an interesting one. Pep versus Tuchel. See how that one goes. It could be interesting. Then we're back again in the evening doing Villa versus United. So it should be two cracking games. And Stevie G facing United again twice in a week. So we'll see what changes happen there. Sunday we are doing the North London derby, providing it goes on. There is a little bit of debate on if that will go on at the moment. Arsenal asking to postpone it with only one COVID case. Rest of them are either injured or AFCON. So, we'll see what the Premier League say to that. But before you do go, hit the like button. As always, hit that subscribe button as well. The amount of excuses you make for Rashford. Well, no, I think it's right to give everyone a fair crack at the whip, isn't it? Right. So I think it's just quickly on this. I think it's fair to let Rashford go, see if he can fix himself mentally, and then come back and see what happens. I think everyone deserves a fair crack at the whip, especially when you've given Harry Maguire more chances than I care to imagine, and he went and beat up police in Greece. But as I said, before you go, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as always. Cian, where can they find you, mate?
Football Obsession on YouTube. Just uploaded a video for Fabrizio Romano. FTBL OBS on Twitter. Perfect. Kenny, what about you, mate?
You can find me on Twitter. It's there. I can be Kenny off the question can't call. Kenny TV on YouTube, London Daily Streams, and Kenny United on Twitch, which isn't
Yeah. And Jay, last but not least, where can they find you, mate?
You probably find me all over Twitter, pretty much arguing with everyone. You probably find me on this channel arguing with Niall for the next 20 years, probably, let's be real. And you'll probably find me on YouTube on my own channel. So thanks so much as well.
My pleasure, RJ. Of course, I'll be arguing with you for the next 20 years. Why not? Let's go
nothing
for
else to do with our lives. Let's be real.
Yeah, I'm sure Cian will be there with us every step of the way, and Kenny will just be Kenny will just be here, but he'll just be watching. But I actually really enjoyed that. That's actually been one of my favourite United shows, and it didn't actually turn into complete chaos. So big thanks to everyone who's come on. Kenny just said Carragher's a cunt. Well, I'm not going to read what RJ just put in, but we'll just say spitting. I'm sure everyone's
no. Anyway, we're going to leave it there.
We are going to leave it there. We'll be back tomorrow morning. But
probably spitting the sister's mouth.
Jesus Christ! On that note, guys, have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.